Hello guys, this is my channel, my journey through life with ADHD in sobriety. I'm here to talk about just that, my sobriety. I have a little microphone here that's not the best, but it gets the job done until I get better ones. I'm here to speak. I've been sober 4 years now from alcoholism. The reason why I dealt with that because my mother and her history from my mother's side, there's a lot of alcoholics. So it got passed down. Um, Basically, I also have ADHD. I also have ADHD, so that makes me more prone to addiction. So from what I see, I had the recipe for disaster. So I didn't see it coming. I just, I just know that I fell hard in 2018, 2019. I fell into, deep alcoholism. It just progress as as they say. They say alcoholism is, it's a disease. It's a progressive disease, and it only gets worse. And at the end, it takes your life for the most part. And it is true. Even though I'm still here, it wasn't always like this. I was drinking hard for 5, 6 years straight. It got to a point where I was drinking every day, and towards the end, I was blacking out. I was living a destructive lifestyle. I wasn't an outside drinker, a social drinker. I was more of a inside on my own. And towards the end, I was just blacking out. I was drinking just to black out. And so, but I'm here to talk about that's a story for another day. I'm here to talk about sobriety and how the last 4 years been. I've been sober for 4 years now. I got sober. My sobriety date is November 1st, 2021. And I'm currently now, obviously, in March 25th, 2026. So I have 4 years of sobriety now. And it's been tough. It's been tough. Every day is hard, obviously. Sobriety is hard because you never leave it. It never goes anywhere. It's always something lurking there because it knows that you have that way of coping, that destructive way of coping, of escaping. So it is a fight every day. It is a true fight. And every day you got to fight to remember why you got to stay sober. And so the first year was tough because I was completely confused. You have to understand, I've been drinking for 5, 6 years straight. And so when I first got sober, that first year, I'm just summarizing 3 years because I can't remember specific details. And it's a long story. I don't have all the time right now. But the first year, but I do want to give you guys some type of recap or something because it is important. I want to talk about my sobriety. And I want, if anybody out there was dealing with it or was also in sobriety, you will definitely connect and you will understand, even though everybody got their own journey. And so the first year was tough because you have to understand at this point, I also have ADHD and I didn't even know I have it. I got diagnosed with ADHD in my mid 30s. That was practically 3.5, almost the 4 years I was already sober. So that first year, I still don't know what's going on. I didn't know that that was the main root that made me prone to addiction. My brain, all that dysregulation, all that low dopamine, you know, it's a lot of going on. That lack of stimulation and your the way my brain is wired is not like a regular person who doesn't have it, who doesn't have ADHD. So I didn't know that at that moment. So the first year was tough because I'm just coming now. I'm sober. I'm used to dealing with my problems, drinking, forgetting, fuck everything. I'm just drinking, right? So that first year was very confused. I was barely just hanging on, just knowing that I just can't drink. That's it. that's around the time that I kind of started, I looked, I don't know if I started going to AA and stuff like that first year. Could have been the second year, actually. Second year, I'm starting to get the hang of it. Getting the hang of it. I am getting more used to being sober. I know now that I'm trying to pick up and I'm learning from AA and learning from things that I have to pick up reasons to stay sober. I also learned not to pick up that first drink. I cannot pick up the first drink. If I pick up that first drink, you know what they in AA, 1,000 drinks, you know, forget about it. If I pick up that first drink, one drink is not enough. I will keep going. I will keep going and I will drink until I black out or worse. And I'm glad I did it. And I passed that second year. You know what they say, is one drink is not enough. I said one drink is too much. 1,000 is not enough. If I pick up that first drink, it's a wrap. I will not know when to stop. And so that second year was already me barely just getting the hang of it now. The third year, I spent it pretty much just, you know, now I think I'm fully blown in AA. I was, having ADHD this is why I struggled in college too. And if you have ADHD, you know what I'm talking about. That fucks you up mentally. You're not wired for that shit. You struggle. A lot of people are under medication for ADHD. I wasn't. I still don't know I even have ADHD at that point of my third year. So I don't even know what's going on. All I know, I'm still dealing with anger issues. It's not really anger issues. It turned out to be ADHD. We black out. We have certain topics that trigger us. So we have trigger words, trigger, situations. And so we could overdo something, the slightest thing, the simplest issue. We can make it as if somebody just did, the most terrible thing to you. And so the third year, I still don't know I have ADHD. So I'm still dealing with a lot of outbursts. So the trauma is still there, and I'm taking it out on my family and on myself. I'm still sober, still going to AA, trying to keep it together, just keep following the one day at a time, 1 second at a time. The fourth year is when I finally found out I have ADHD. I started going to therapy as part of my trying to get better. I went to therapy, and part of the therapy is you have to go through a psychological, see a psychiatrist, see what's going on, see what they're dealing with. That's part of like that to become an outpatient. It's like an outpatient program. So it turns out I got diagnosed with ADHD, and that's when I knew everything clicked. Little by little, I started learning what ADHD was, and I started seeing all the damn evidence throughout my years, mostly in sobriety, because when I was drinking, I don't even remember shit. There was days I wake up, I don't know, I either remember and I knew it was fucking bad, or I don't remember at all. So my fourth year, I finally find out that I have ADHD. I'm still going to therapy. It's 30 minutes a week. One day on Tuesdays, 30 minutes, one day a week. That was okay. It's just that, I was doing it mostly not even about the therapy itself. I was doing it mostly to tell myself to do something different. Because having ADHD, that has messed me up badly. I wasn't working properly. At some point, I wasn't working at all. It became like a phobia almost. Anything that sounds boring, anything that sounds like work, which is why I struggled in college. I couldn't finish college. I dropped out in 2016 spring. I could not finish college. I did not finish. I did not finish college because I couldn't focus, and that's something you hear a lot from people who have ADHD, and especially in college, the focus just ain't there. They either have to get medicated, or I don't know how the fuck they do it, but some people take long. We take longer to graduate. I heard of a story of a guy who literally took 20 fucking years to get his master's. I don't know how he did that. Obviously, it took 20 years. I don't even know if that's true, so I can't verify that. But I remember reading a story. The guy took 20 years, so that must have been a bunch of in and outs, in and outs. Like, it's just hard for people who have that kind of brain to sit down and read. That's why I can't even read. I cannot read a book. I haven't read a book in fucking a decade or two, and a decade plus or more. I haven't read a book. If I read it, never finished it. Just that simple. I cannot tell you the ending of any fucking book. No ending. I don't know. I know the beginning, and if I'm lucky, I know I'll tell you the middle. And after that, I don't know the ending of any book. So the fourth year, I started getting a little more of a hang of it because now I got to cope with sobriety and not picking up. But I also got to deal with ADHD and how the fuck am I going to live life every day, not medicated because I chose to not medicate it. Once I started doing research, I find out what I have to do is eat better, change my diet, exercise. We need sleep. Obviously, sleep for the brain is very key, but we need more than sleep. I needed more like naps and stuff, and I started napping more. I started changing my diet, eating healthier. I started exercising more. I was always an exercise person, not really exercise like gym. I like to walk a lot. So everywhere I go, if it's walkable, if that's even a fucking word, I will walk. I will go. I don't care if it's 2, 3 miles. I'm walking. So I'll do 2, 3 miles going, 2, 3 miles coming, 6, 10 miles. I can do that easily. I can walk 15, 20 miles like nothing. I've been walking for years, so that was easy for me to get the exercise in, change my lifestyle. Not too much processed stuff. And just I don't even eat meat like that. I'm practically a vegetarian. My wife is a vegetarian. Um, if you see her here in this on YouTube, that's my wife. Her name is Quiota and Freedom. She likes to sing. If you notice this background on her YouTube, that's her singing there. That's my wife. But my point is, I just wanted to quickly run through the 4 years I've been sober. And this 4 years when I find out I have ADHD. So now I have to deal with ADHD. I have to deal with sobriety. I gotta know how the fuck they connect. I gotta connect the dots to all this about bettering. For me to better my life, for me to get better every day at being better, to be proper. So I had to tell you guys, because I felt like it was overdue. It wasn't really a detailed story. I will get into it more. If you have any questions, I'm not the most, I'm very to myself. I'm not a very social person. So, but don't be afraid, ask me a question regarding sobriety, regarding ADHD. And I will, if I know it, I'm going to answer it. Mostly from my experience. I can't tell you what someone else is going through. I can only talk about how that has affected me in my everyday life. And I will gladly answer it. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you can, if you want to. If not, that's fine. Because I probably don't want you to ask questions anyway. I'm just kidding, but I am really, I will get deeper into the stories and I will tell you more. I'm trying to grow my channel, honestly, for many reasons. It's a lot of stuff that I have started and never could finish. So this is a project I'm trying to see, can I actually finish this? No, there's no really finish, but can I progress? Can I elevate? Can I go up in this YouTube world? I'm coming late in the game. I understand that, but it's never better late than never, as I say. So, guys, safety first. Have a good day. As you can see, that ambulance is my cue to go. I'm just kidding. I don't know where that. Hopefully, that person's okay. But I have to go pick up my child from school. That's the reason why you see me looking at my watch. So it's not because of you guys. It's because of this. I have to go pick. He gets out at 3:30. You guys have a safe afternoon and evening. Stay, safety first at all time. I'm big on safety. Look at my Instagram. Look at my TikTok. I talk nothing but about safety first at all times. Think of others and indirectly thinking of yourself. I will post more ASMR videos. I love ASMR, so I'm gonna start doing ASMR as well. I'm posting sobriety videos. I'm posting ADHD videos, and I'm also gonna put humor and try to be more funny because I'm not. I'm more of a stiff, really serious guy. But truthfully, inside, I'm really not that. That's just all fronts. That we all put, and this is why we gotta break out of it and just crack the shell open. Safety first, guys. Have a good evening, and I'll see you on my next video.